Once again, Dr. Malusi Mncube, thank you so much, for availing yourself for this following segment. On this segment, we're going to touch on Zuma, Jacob Zuma, former President Jacob Zuma, and the court ruling by the Constitutional Court. And then we're going to talk about the possibility of the Constitution Amendment after the elections. What are your views on that? And how do you foresee South Africa after the elections, basically? But let's start with the MK Zuma case. How do you think the ruling itself is going to affect the organization, the party, on Wednesday?
I think thus far what the MK party has done, I think it's actually amazing.
Yeah. By the way, can you explain how what is the ruling?
The ruling, first there was a ruling by the Independent Electoral Commission to say they don't get involved necessarily in political party issues. For those who say the MK party was not founded by Zuma, he's not the owner and all that, they cannot get involved. As far as they're concerned, the face of Zuma and him being the president of MK, it will remain on the ballot box, and he can contest the elections. But what cannot happen, what the IEC said even from then, is that what cannot happen is that he cannot contest political office and be able to be president or to sit in what you call parliament.
So to have become a minister.
Yeah, he cannot until after 5 years, and I think by the time he will be like 85 or so. Right, so that's what the IEC said.
He says it's still fresh.
Yes, yeah. So that issue was taken up to the Constitutional Court, right?
Which we saw unfolding last week.
Absolutely. And the Constitutional Court came up with a ruling, right? This is the pathway of the outcome of that ruling. President Zuma will still remain the president of MK. He will do anything within the party, campaigning for it, sit in their meetings, whatever. The Constitutional Court is not against that. He will continue to do that.
Okay.
But he cannot, if now the Constitutional Court, let's say they win a 2/3, because it's the party that is being elected. We do not have a direct presidential elections like in America, here in South Africa, where the public elects the president directly.
The party elects.
Yes. The party is elected, and then they elect whoever will be their president. Right?
Yes.
So MK, let's say they get a 2/3 and they're in parliament, and they need to have a president to sit in parliament, or they need a minister. He cannot be a president or minister. So there's a dichotomy here. He can continue to do all his duties within MK, help MK to win the elections and all that. Obviously, still exercise power and influence.
Of course.
But he cannot exercise and take up the presidency or any official position until the 5-year period elapses. That is pretty what they're saying. And that they can still appeal it. So whether MK wants to appeal it or not, it's up to them. But having followed them, they don't seem worried about that. When I analyze and I hear how they talk, it's not something I think they did not anticipate. It's one of those things that they anticipated.
Okay.
Because Zuma and others are still the kingmakers, whoever they are going to choose to be the president. And there's been rumors that the possible president of MK could be the former Chief Justice Mogoeng.
The former justice?
Yes, he could be the president of, yes.
Okay.
They even recently had a meeting with Zuma and all that. There's photos and all that. Recently,
wow.
Yes.
This is interesting.
Yes, he could actually be the what you call the
president of
the president. And
if they get 2/3, then it means he's the president of the country.
Yes, but that decision hasn't been taken.
Of course, yes.
They're talking about it. But also, coming to the amendment of the constitution, let's say MK wins, right? Let's say MK wins. If MK wins 2/3 majority, or even if they don't win a 2/3 majority, either way, they win a 2/3 majority, even if they don't, and they have a coalition, let's say, with EFF.
Yeah.
And once they have a 2/3 majority, it means they can amend the constitution. Certain provisions they do not want
without objection.
Yeah. So one of the things, for instance, I see them amending would be whether it's a coalition or not, they will talk to the EFF if they agree, or if they have 2/3 majority on their own, they can say, we're amending the constitution and we are going to invite Zuma to be the president of the country for the next 5 years. So if MK gets nationally 2/3 majority, they can amend the constitution. And when they amend it and other provisions they don't like, and they can say, we want Zuma to be our president. So they will have amended. The constitution, remember, is just a piece of paper that has been authenticated and codified by the law of the country.
Of course.
Yeah. So it can be amended. So they can do that. They can amend it, and Zuma can very well become a president.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Or they can have a coalition with MK.
The EFF.
With EFF. MK
Yes.
and EFF. And they agree. And they'll agree, for instance. I'm just giving scenarios, speculative scenarios. They agree with Zuma. Okay, Zuma, I'll be the president of MK because there's certain strategic things we have to do. And EFF agrees, Shivambo and Julius Malema and Dlozi agreed to that. And yes, okay, Malema will be the deputy president for those 2 years. After that, he automatically takes up. Because now they are writing the constitution, they can do that. So where you find that Zuma becomes a president only for 1 year or 2 years, depending if they agree or not.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many ways in which it is contingent on amending the constitution. Zuma can still be president. He can still shock people. Or he might not be a president, and he might just be pretty happy running things behind the scene, because he still commands a whole lot of power. I think personally, he still commands influence amongst the people in South Africa, the constitution in South Africa, and he commands also influence within BRICS. He's still well respected by the Chinese and by also the Russian. And who knows, probably most of their funding, maybe it even comes from there. Nobody knows. So we can have all this party funding that you must declare and all that. And I've been doing a research to find out how much was contributed to MK and all that. They did not declare any amount or donation. Probably there is nothing that has been funded, but I could not get an amount, how much they're being funded and all that. So this is what I was saying to you. Things can be problematized. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean if Action SA has been given 15 million rands by Marian Oppenheimer, that is necessarily the truth. There's no other conduits of giving them any other money. For instance, ANC from their trust, Charterhouse Trust, I think, they got about 10 million. They raised another one, it's about 16 million. And I do not think ANC, if they want to win more than 50%, they can manage that on 16 million. So yes, they might say whatever they are saying, but there might be other illicit ways. Any party can raise funds. It has been done all over the world.
I mean, similar to the CR17
you see what I mean?
Where
absolutely,
we don't know.
Absolutely,
certain amounts are not declared.
Absolutely,
we still don't have.
I mean,
the statements right now.
Yes, absolutely. For instance, I think EFF donations they have received so far it's about 2 million something.
Yeah,
and EFF is gunning for a 2/3 majority. I don't see how they can do that on 2 million or 3 million.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one thing the IEC says and all that, but also that indirectly gives IEC the power, should they catch that you did not declare certain funds, you can be taken to court.
Is it?
Yes, of course, you can be taken to court.
Yeah, because you've broken the law.
Yeah, because you've broken the law.
Yeah.
So, but politics is politics. You know, it's not textbooks
Of course.
Politics.
Yeah.
Anything happens leaders get assassinated all over the world. We've known from the ancient African times to the Roman times to whatever times we know.
There's
Assassinations
always
are
been
there,
like that.
even though you'll investigate that case forever. So, yes, President Zuma still remains the president of MK.
Yes.
His face still remains on the ballot box, but if they win, he cannot hold office unless if they get a two-thirds majority on a coalition or non-coalition end. They can amend the constitution, and if they agree, if they have a coalition partner, if they agree that he must be president because of certain strategic issues, he can still be president. It's far-fetched, but he can still be.
This ruling did it allow him to appeal, or is it a final?
He can appeal. Even the judges of the constitutional they mentioned it. I think it was.
He can appeal.
Yeah, he can appeal. It was
Yeah.
Judge Teron, the lady. I was listening to her when she was reading it out.
Yes.
Yes, he can appeal. But now I'm thinking, even if he appeals, even if he appealed last week, the time is too short for preparations with the elections.
Yeah. My thinking is he might appeal even after the elections.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Who knows? Maybe the appeal is almost ready.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are strategists, and Zuma has been known to be a strategist.
Of course.
And maybe when he said to this public, no, let's not appeal before election. Let's see what figures we get.
And then
And that will give us a strength to put our argument. You never know. You never know.
even how we put it.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. All right.
But he can appeal.
Yeah.
Definitely can appeal.
Let's wait and see
Yeah.
what happens. But I want to find out, what are your predictions? What are your predictions? I know these elections are almost unpredictable, because there's new players in the game. There's your MKs, and there's just a
Let's
lot.
mention them. There's ANC, right?
Yeah.
There's EFF, there's DA, there's MK, especially for me, those four.
Yes.
It's unpredictable to say exactly what will be the results. But
I mean, there's your parties such as your Action SA, Rise Mzansi that are coming. I know they are small parties, but like those are the parties that are also taking from the existing numbers, whether from the ANC or from the EFF. So the unpredictability part, that's exactly what I mean. What is your view on that?
yeah, look, I'll be very honest with you. Mina, I don't give them really too much thought, because I really do have an idea what happens in real politics, in real power politics.
Okay.
So Rise Mzansi and all that, I'm not denigrating them, I'm not talking them down, but I do not think qualitatively and in reaching about serious critical mass. For me, yes, they say look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. Yeah, they are a penny, but for me, they are not really that important penny. They
Okay.
add up to, for me, it's those four serious ones that I counted.
The four
Remember,
major players.
yeah, formidable ones. So this is national politics. This is not like your provincial, municipal
Yes,
coalitions. This is different.
And actually, you're right, because Action SA never ran for a national. This is their first time.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. So I'm referencing myself and other elections I've watched. So I've mentioned this for. Look, ANC is still formidable. It will do almost everything to get 50+1. But I think that is a bit impossible. Probably they'll get a 45, 47. That's what I think. I might be wrong because I'm being speculative now. That's what I think I'll get. DA might be in for a rude awakening. I think DA. This time, they won't be the second biggest party in South Africa.
You think so?
No, I don't think so. The only thing that will make them the second biggest party is still the thing that made them the second biggest party in the first place. And I will tell you what it is. It's because people, the black majority, those who were eligible to go and vote, because of what they were complaining about the ANC. It was sort of a revolt. People became apathetic, and the voters' roll was small, right? So a lot of black people did not go and vote to be on the voters' roll. So the voters' roll was small. And that afforded the DA to be number 2, not in terms of numbers. Now, I think the voters' roll, I stand for correction right now, it's about 28 million. And there's a higher number of young black people who've registered.
Yes.
Right. So I do not see, I might be wrong, having given you my argument, I do not see the DA being the number 2 political party this time. I don't.
Who do you think is going to become number 2?
I cannot guess, but I'll try and guess intelligent. It could be either EFF or MK. Yes. DA can be number 3 or number 4.
You don't see the ANC becoming maybe number 2?
Yes, ANC can become number 2.
And who would become number 1?
If the EFF can surprise us.
Is it?
Yes, they can surprise us. Anything. Remember. Don't take too much, don't read too much into what happened at the Orlando Stadium, the MK people who filled in that stadium. Don't be taken in too much by the people, ANC supporters who filled in the FNB Stadium. Yeah. It's a good show of force, and it motivates your supporters just before you go. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's a good thing to do. I would also do it. It motivates, because you don't want to be at the doorstep of elections and you can't even fill in a stadium. Psychologically, it's important for your motivation of your supporters to be able to fill in a stadium, especially just before elections. It's very important. I would argue to do that. But in the same vein, do not be too dependent on it. What you see in your stadium is what will translate into your votes. You know why?
Why?
You know why? Because your vote is secret. I can wear your T-shirt. I can come in and fill in FNB, Orlando Stadium, and all that. Maybe Remajita. We've got nothing to do. There's buses, there's what.
And I think you have a point there.
Yeah,
because
and we're going to be offered food.
Of course.
And who
People
knows,
are
maybe
hungry.
they give you 100 rands. Come.
Yes.
Because the idea, it's a psychological warfare, is to fill in the stadium. So filling in the stadium doesn't scientifically translate into your vote, because your vote is your secret. When you can be supporter of Kaizer Chiefs and your wife be a supporter of Orlando Pirates, and every time you speak, your wife will keep on saying, I support Kaizer Chiefs as my husband. But when it goes to voting, she will vote for Orlando Pirates. And you will not know that your wife has voted for Orlando Pirates. That's why they say your vote is your secret.
Of course.
So the taste of the pudding is in the eating. We'll truly know when the results come out.
Yeah.
Yes, show of force is part of a strategy of increasing the critical mass. But you mustn't be fully dependent on that. Anything can happen. Because some of the people who will have gone to FNB Stadium, some of them are, for lack of a better word, and I want to apologize in advance, some of them could be spies, infiltrators.
Of course.
Even the ones who went for the MK, any actually.
Because it's a whole lot of crowd.
So and some people just want to get out, just to get some fresh, a free bus ride and all that. Yeah. So, but the taste of the pudding, when we're counting the figures, that's when we'll know who's who in the zoo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's wrap it up like this.
Yeah.
Do you foresee any situations where I was looking at the Zimbabwe elections, the last elections? It was very chaotic. In some villages, there were no ballot boxes. So some people literally didn't vote, But in South Africa, I don't see it coming that way. I think the IEC has organized themselves very nicely. But then do you see some sort of illegitimacy in terms of the counting of the numbers, where maybe some of the ballots can be stolen, whatsoever? I mean, it happens all the time. We hear some say the ballots were stolen, on the way to wherever. How do you foresee, the management of the counting of the votes?
There's something I want to share with you
Yes, sir.
in terms of any human organization. Please, I want to just share that with you, including me,
Yes.
including you, including anybody.
Yes.
United Nations, World Health Organization, IEC, the Roman Vatican Catholic Church, whatever. As long as there's a human being there, things are not as they seem.
Anything can happen.
Anything, humans, they can be infiltrated. Humans can change their minds. Humans can be bought. Humans can be intimidated. Humans can be blackmailed. So, in life, in politics, in elections, in anything, there's no guarantees. Whether you're a holy person or you're a villain, expect the unexpected, Baba. Expect the unexpected. United Nations, World Trade Organization, Independent Electoral Commission, whatever, Malusi, Elvis, whoever. I want to use one of our songsters we had in South Africa, Brenda Fassie.
Yes.
She had a song with Umuntu anyeke confirm. You cannot confirm something until it is verified. You can trust. You only trust when you verified the results. That's my angle. That's what I just want to share with you.
Yes.
So far, hitherto, IEC looks respectable, looks legitimate. I've got nothing to say against them.
You are happy.
I am happy. But all I'm saying is, in life, expect the unexpected. There's always a first time for everything. Anybody can be touched. Anybody. Remember, we're all human beings. That's my philosophy in life. That's my thinking.
Thank you.
I don't care how great you can be, how great an organization you can be. That's why companies all over the world, no matter how good they are, they get audited. Even the auditors get audited. Remember the Enron scandal, the Pricewater scandal, the Andersons. They were involved in this global 2007 financial meltdown, the Andersons. These are auditing firms. The ones you say will look after the ethical practices, the figures, everything, only to find out they were involved. So, I want to share with the public, always verify before you trust, especially don't even count your chickens when they are hatched. They must be hatched and you must have them in your hands.
Yes.
Probably even in your pot cooking them, then you know they are yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Malusi Mncube. Once again, let's meet on the next following session. What do you want to say in closing?
In closing, I'd like to say thank you very much to you.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much to the listeners, and thank you very much to the viewers in South Africa, Africa, and globally. We're living in times where I would like to persuade you, all of you, not to be prescriptive. Human beings must come together and go against these ruling classes who think less of other humanity. And for me, I don't care if you're black, you're white, whatever your religion is. Humanity are all one. And we must go against, we must fight these global neocolonialists who think they can use human beings as expendables for their own enrichment. All humanity, please, let's come together, help fight what's going on in the DRC Congo, help fight what's going on in Palestine, help fight what's going on in Sudan, help fight what's going on in Syria, in Yemen, all over the world. Every cause that is for humanity is important. Let's support each other, and let's stand up in all our global universities. Let's stand up in all our churches, in all our mosques, all of us. Our differences are not supposed to make us enemies. We are supposed to unite more. The world is in great danger. Nobody must suffer from exceptionalism. There can be a third world war, but we must do something to stop it, and let's dominate the narrative. And let's not let these ruling classes dominate the world narrative. I thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Malusi. Until next time.